Hey, I got a quick question for you. Are you showing up as the expert authority in your business, making sure that your message is on point and your branding is reflective of your go to authorityness? Hi, I'm Christine Blasdell, your expert authority business coach, and I have a way for you to rate your expert authority prowess. And you can check it out at expertauthorityquiz.com. It's fun, it's easy, and it's something that you really should be doing to see where you level up. If you want to establish trust with your audience and potential customers and clients, you might want to take this quiz. Once again, head on over to expertauthorityquiz.com. That's expertauthorityquiz.com.
Welcome to Out of the Box with Christine, the podcast for conscious entrepreneurs. Are you willing to step into your greatness? Are you ready to shine? Well, get ready, Truth Seeker. You're in for an amazing ride. And now, here's the host of the show, Christine Blasdell.
Welcome back to Out of the Box with Christine. I'm your host, Christine Blasdale. I am the expert authority business coach who helps overwhelmed entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, mumpreneurs who are trying to do everything, who are trying to be the copywriter, the accountant, the marketer, you name it. And I take that overwhelm and get that brand that you desire, get that message out. And today I am very, very happy to have also an expert authority in his field. And I have had this love-hate relationship with LinkedIn forever. I've openly talked about this, but lately, you know what? I'm starting to see the value, and I'm starting to realize that this is a great tool that we can use to connect to our target audience. And today, my guest is going to tell you why you need to be on LinkedIn, but not just be on it and post a bunch of stuff, how you can take your message and actually make it work for you. Scott Aaron is this wonderful expert authority in LinkedIn. He's also a best-selling author and top marketing podcast host, lead gen and sales strategist. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Christine, grateful and honored to be here. And my goal is to not just have your audience, but have you fall in love. No offense to your partner and your wife, but to have you fall in love with LinkedIn as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, if LinkedIn is as sexy as you make it seem, I'm all there.
Well, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best.
You know, I stalked you a little bit, of course, on LinkedIn prior to the interview, and I was really the very first video that I actually like fully watched and was engaged in was something that you posted just recently, and I thought it was absolutely so important. And it's again, it's something that's simple, and you would think that most people would know this, but we have to be reminded because we get taken off into all these different directions, and we're told by the experts, you need to do this, you need to do that, post content all the time, blah, blah, blah. You said in this video, every piece of content should provide a solution.
Mm.
And my mind, and I had a little explosion in my brain, and I went, oh, can you expand on that a little bit? Because there's a lot of people out there posting a lot of content on all social media platforms, but even on LinkedIn, especially, what you mean by that.
Well, think about any time that we've made any purchase, a car, a house, a can of deodorant or toothpaste, whatever it is, right? There has to be a level of know, like, and trust built before you actually cross that threshold to making that purchase.
Yeah.
And there's no better way of bridging the gap between someone that is educating and informing you on some sort of subject or topic directed towards someone that's looking to learn about that subject or topic than giving a solution in between. So it's great to provide value-added content, but if it goes and stops at a dead end, like you're waiting for more, it's almost like I'm a big Marvel Star Wars fan, right? It's almost like going to the movies, which we just did, and we saw the latest Marvel movie, which we did, and you sit you wait for all the credits because you want to wait for that Easter egg, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That little teaser about the next movie, right? So they're giving you a solution to your question while you're watching that. So you're like, yes, I know which one is next. I can't wait for the next one. So now you're engaged. So when you think about not yourself, but when you think about the potential person that you're looking to impact and bring into your sphere and work with them in some way, shape, or form within an offering that you have, one of the best ways to start that engagement process is giving them some free value, giving them some basic solutions to the questions that they may have, where they can then make it applicable to what they need to do, where they're like, man, that worked. I'm going to come back for more, and I'm going to come back for more and more and more. And there's going to be a tipping point. We call it the hockey stick, right?
Mm,
So
yeah.
I know you're from the States originally, and I'm not sure if you were an LA Kings fan or not, but anyway, you the hockey stick goes along, goes along, goes along, and then all of a sudden it starts to curve up and then shoots to the moon. So when you provide solutions in each and every form of content that you put out on LinkedIn, whether it's a little small solution or a big solution, it's still going to build a know, like, and trust between the person that you're looking to impact in a positive way.
Oh, absolutely. And with when it comes to being, I'm always with my clients talking about, being authentic and relatable and making that connection, with potential clients or customers. But the big obvious elephant in the room is that you're there as a coach, as a consult, as a service provider to provide a service to fix something. And if you could be a life coach, right, and your clients are struggling with what's going on in their life, or you could be a fitness coach and your clients are struggling with their weight or the perception of their bodies, right? So there are these problems or these pain points that people have, but if we're putting out content that addresses everything but that particular problem or problems, then we might be showing up in their feed on their scroll, but are we actually helping them in any shape or form, or are we just sort of doing advertisements, right? Commercials. Hey, I'm here on your scroll and I'm gonna make you laugh or giggle or just be here, right? Or are we going to provide that solution, that problem solving tip or advice that in your expert authority? that's
Yeah,
that's the thing.
well, there's two things that I think about. Number one, I think about where was I in this aspect of this person's journey and what was I struggling with? So
Mm-hmm.
we're all our own best clients. We
Yeah.
just know a little bit more than the person behind us and so on and so on. And I always think about what would I want to hear right now if I was struggling with generating leads on LinkedIn, if I was struggling with marketing myself on LinkedIn? What would I want to hear or read if I was looking to better optimize my LinkedIn profile? So when I can start to ask myself those questions, I can easily answer them, and then I can then provide that in the right type of commentary, whether it's a text post, a poll question, a newsletter edition, so on and so on, a video training that I do twice a week. And it's just making sure that I'm putting myself in the passenger side perspective, delivering not what I think people need, but what people actually want. Because there's a big difference between what you think people need compared to what they actually want. They won't engage with the need, they'll engage with the want. So I always make
Right.
sure that when I'm doing my poll questions on LinkedIn, it's the market research that allows me to get into their minds as far as the wants that they have, so I can then provide further commentary and value with the continual content from those questions.
Oh, absolutely. That's nailing it. And what we do as entrepreneurs, coaches, solopreneurs, is many times we're in our own head and
Mm.
we put out content that we want to do, that we want to put out, right? And I do try and tell, especially even my clients that are dealing with imposter syndrome, right? And they're so afraid to sort of put anything out there. My thing is, I'm always saying it's not about you, it's about serving the audience, serving your community, serving that customer or that client. It's about them. And you just put it in really beautiful simple terms. It's about what their needs are, what their concerns are, and not so much yours. Because you can know how to do something and it's easy peasy for you. But for someone else, it might be like climbing up Mount Everest, right? It might be
Yeah.
something that, oh, it's too scary to do that. And it's making that task or the thing, the problem solver, making it attainable, making it so that the person doesn't become overwhelmed with it. But hey, I can take that step. I can try that. And if they try that based on your video or your post that you've done on LinkedIn and they have that little measure of success, you're right. They're going to come back because they're like, you know what? This guy told me something. I did it and it worked.
That's how you earn people's trust, by giving them value. You can't expect someone
Yeah.
to ever invest $1 with you if you're not going to give them something. You have to give in order to get. Back to something that you said about imposter syndrome. My wife and I talk about this often in our group coaching program. And one of our members actually said, we were doing a workshop and she came in to give us a testimonial. And she said, the longer that you let imposter syndrome stop you from doing what you need to do to grow your business, the longer that you're making people wait to see and feel your brilliance.
Yes.
And so the big question is, how long are you going to let people, how long are you going to make them wait? How
Yes.
long? Another 6 months? Another year? Another 18 months? And that's why I'm really encouraging and empowering people, get on LinkedIn. It's not as scary as you think it is. Just start somewhere. Just start. Like, you don't have to go all in on day one. Christine, there's two statistics that I always kind of lead with when people are like, well, why LinkedIn? What's the big point? Is it like monster.com? Is it where I get a job? Like, at one point, yes. 88% of the people on LinkedIn are in some sort of decision-making role. So as far as acquiring clients and picking up business, you're in that 12% that is providing a potential service to the 88%. But the other interesting stat is that only 1% of the LinkedIn population posts at least one time or more per week. 99% are silent engagers. So you want to talk about incredible traction and visibility where that people are on there. They just want to engage with other people's stuff. They don't want to be a creator. They just want to engage with the experts. So if you're the expert, show up by providing value. Even if it's just posting one time a week, you're doing more than 99% of the people.
Oh, that's inspiring. That is so
I don't know how to make it any easier. Just post once a week.
Well, and let's talk about the difference because there's, we got quite a few different social media platforms out there. I like to equate, of course, like with the Facebooks, sort of like the place where your cousins and uncles will give you the thumbs up and go, that's congratulations, right?
Barbecue.
Yes, barbecue recipes. But let's talk about, because you've floated around on all of them, I'm sure. Let's talk about the different, what would you say are the purposes of all of the social media platforms, and start with the purpose of LinkedIn. You've alluded to it in your conversation here, but let's start with LinkedIn and then move around a little bit.
Yeah. So LinkedIn, from a very, I would say, micro level, is the best place for a business professional to build their personal business brand at the same time, because you are spending time on a platform that is not revolved around scrolling and trolling. It's not revolved around doing TikTok dances. It's not revolved around overly promotional stuff. There's no TikTok shop or Instagram promotions. It's not personal stuff. You're not seeing pictures of family and friends really that are just sharing your everyday life. It is business. It is helping people to up level themselves, their profession, make advances in their career. But what I love most about LinkedIn is that it's very human-centric focused, meaning people are on there to connect. They're on there to network. They're on there to collaborate. One of my favorite books is The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, which states, instead of living in a world of competition and comparison, live in a world of creation and collaboration. And that's exactly what's going on LinkedIn. It's
Amen.
all about people creating, collaborating, creating and collaborating. One of the greatest assets that any coach, consultant, service provider, solopreneur, whatever you want to call yourself, entrepreneur can have. That asset is your human to human marketing, meaning the relationship marketing side of your business. The more relationships that you have, the more referral partners that you have, the more people that know about what you do and who you serve and how you serve them, the more business will always come your way. A lot of people have gotten kind of pushed into this corner where they spray and pray, right? They just message a ton of people. They connect with a bunch of people, then they start pitch slapping people in messages, and then they push people away. And they're sending these 18 paragraph long drunkalog verbal vomit messages that don't land. No one responds. And then they're like, well, LinkedIn doesn't work. Well, of course that's not going to work. So my wife and I talk about something called the smell test. If you're crafting a message on LinkedIn and it stinks, don't send it, because if it's not going to land with you, it's not going to land with someone else. Message someone the way that you would want to be messaged. So from a very, very, like, just very micro level, LinkedIn is your lead gen and sales engine. That's what it is. It's about lead generation, client acquisition, connecting, rapport building, referral partnerships, joint ventures, collaborations. It's all of that bundled up into one beautiful content creation platform.
I like that. And then the Facebooks.
So Facebook, the only, and this is just me just being completely truthful, the only real true asset that I really see to Facebook now are groups. So,
Yeah.
we've built some of our own little private communities on there where it helps fill our workshops. People can register, that's really it. Meta has changed so much with Facebook. Like, I don't know if I'm shadow banned. Sometimes people see my stuff, sometimes they don't. I don't even care anymore. It's for personal use. That's like, I'm on there for social presence. Yeah, I'll create Facebook Reels every once in a while, but it's a lot of personal stuff. I do bench pressing and stuff, so I'll share that kind of stuff, the personal side of my life. But that's what I feel Facebook is best for. It's really showing the personal side of yourself.
Yeah.
Instagram, I don't know. I
It's
just
I,
so
I,
Instagram to me is like, it's like the Real Housewives of social media. It's like I I just don't like, I say that because I don't know what's, like, my sister loves Bravo. Like, I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what's
right.
scripted, what's not. I don't know what's a bot, what's not. I don't know what's automation, what's not. I don't know if it's AI or not. Like, everything just seems completely scripted and fake and not real. And I'm just such a genuine, authentic, real person. Like, if so, like, I'm messaging someone, if like I don't want some weird DM, someone to grow my Instagram to 80 million or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
there's just something about it. It doesn't resonate.
Now that said, I have a very fond place in my heart for TikTok because of the crazy, wacky algorithm that, for whatever reason, connects you, your vibe, your personality, what you're doing, to your tribe. They spend a lot of time and a lot of money on that particular algorithm creation thing. But I'll say that's like my fun place. That's the fun house, right? I like to go
Yeah.
to the fun house because also the things that I'm interested in, when I stop and look at a video for 3 seconds, TikTok
Oh,
thinks I want to see more, kitties playing in the bath, whatever.
algorithm kicks in.
Algorithm kicks in. So it is a good feedback mechanism for me, and it's also
Yes.
a great creative space, right? Because I can go crazy on my
Yeah,
creative stuff.
TikTok is I put TikTok in a category of its own. Like,
It
I would
is,
say it's
yeah,
it's the short form, like, guru. Like, that's
yeah,
that's where you're going to go for short form content. I think there's a lot of really creative, great people on there. Meta, I don't know what Zuckerberg did with it. I don't think it's in a good place, in all honesty. It's too diluted. I don't know. It just feels like they're scratching and clawing to try to compete with other stuff. I really categorize, I call them the big three. So, right, like, I've kind of pushed Meta aside. I would say TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn are the big three at this point.
yeah.
If you're looking for business and personal branding, lead gen, client acquisition, you're going to spend time on LinkedIn. If you're looking for like information overload in the best way possible, tutorials, education, still
Hmm.
personal branding, you're going to spend time on YouTube. Like I love YouTube. That's my second favorite platform. And if you're looking for some like short form, quick hits, like dopamine hits where you can build your brand, your visibility in very quick little instances, showcasing your personality, your expertise, again, the fun house side of you, that would be TikTok.
Yeah.
I really see Meta getting squeezed out and kind of pushed away at this point. I feel like it had its time. I feel like they're still all about the money in the wrong ways. And I feel like TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn are doing everything in their power to help the users as much as possible to succeed so they
Yeah.
can grow their business without having to pay to play. And
Yeah.
that's why I really push back at Meta because it seems like the only way to succeed is to pay to play. And I do believe that there is a free way for every single user, every single content creator to succeed without having to hand over any dollars.
Amen. I echo those feelings. And also there was a huge backlash when the TikTok folk found out that Meta and Zuckerberg really threw a lot of money into outlawing, TikTok and basically getting rid of their competition, trying to get rid of the competition. And there were people that were deleting I mean, these are long-term Facebook folk who were on TikTok and they were having some sort of success. They were content creators. It was the creator economy. They were having businesses from TikTok and they saw what was happening with Zuckerberg and they were like, you know what? I've canceled my Facebook account. I've canceled my Instagram account. F you, Zuckerberg. And I mean, we're talking a lot. This, I don't know if the stock, I would love to have seen what the stock was on during that
Probably
time.
dropped significantly. Yeah.
I would say so. Now, you had mentioned also YouTube, and I have again now YouTube. I go to YouTube if I need to know how to, fix a jacuzzi spa filter issue or whatever. I can go. How do you fix this? I go there. Right. That's where I find my solutions.
Yeah.
But I've noticed as somebody who posts content on YouTube, because all the videos from the podcast episodes, like this video, I will post on YouTube. What I've noticed is that because I also post shorts, what I've noticed is that YouTube is really sending out or pushing, promoting those shorts over their longer format videos. And I think that might be because they're going, oh, well, TikTok is so successful over here. Let's try and do that. What are your thoughts on the shorts versus the longer content on YouTube?
Yeah, I do both. And again, I don't try to figure out the algorithms because there's so many of them, but I think they're the one thing I do love about YouTube is that there is a need for both short form and long form. So the need for short form is to help people stay on the platform going down the scroll holes.
Yeah.
There is no better platform for long form content than YouTube. People will go on there, they will watch a 30-minute video because
Yeah.
if it's something that they want to know, and again, I'm on there for business purposes, so it's a LinkedIn focused channel. So there's a weekly LinkedIn training video on there and it's educating people. And that's the thing. People go there to your point, how do I? So if you think about
Yeah.
to maximize one's efforts on YouTube, think about what someone would be searching for that would enable you to be found, like how to do this, how to generate more leads on LinkedIn, right? Because when someone wants to learn something, you have to put you have to put yourself in the shoes of the person that is typing, oh, how do I generate leads on LinkedIn? Well, that would be a great title for a training video, how to generate leads on LinkedIn. And then obviously that would populate and so I would suggest doing a little bit of both. So my strategy right now, as it stands on YouTube, is one long form video a week every Monday, and then I do 3 shorts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and they're 30 to 59 seconds. I use a platform called Opus.pro, which
Mm.
repurposes content. It's great. You drop a long short video in there, and it basically trims everything for you, gives you like 12 viral clips that you can just download and post or schedule right from the platform. It's amazing. But the like LinkedIn, obviously my main focus. My second sub focus is YouTube. They're my two favorites by far.
And would you say, real quick round robin here on tips for LinkedIn, hot tips for LinkedIn, combination of written posts with like an image, or video with lots of written content, or what, a mixture? What do you suggest?
I'll give you two different answers. So I'm going to give you a beginner and advanced. So
Okay.
for someone that's just starting out on LinkedIn, I would follow this beginner strategy, which is 3 posts per week. Both strategies are 3 posts a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't care what days. Just post 3 days a week. You can pre-schedule your content on LinkedIn. They have their own auto scheduler. So if
Yes.
you don't want to have to post in real time, you don't have to. You can get the stuff pre-scheduled out. So the beginner strategy is one video post, and it can be just a vertical video, just like you would do on TikTok, Instagram, like
Mhm.
YouTube Shorts. Just grab your phone, record yourself 30 to 50 seconds, give a little tangible tip, build your brand, build your business, and post it. The second would be, I would say, up to a 3,000 character limit text only post. You could do an image, completely optional. It
Mhm.
must be a photo of yourself looking straight on at your audience because that's a way for you to connect with the person who is reading it and looking at it. But you can do what I call a naked only, a naked text post, which is basically just text, no image.
I thought
I
you were
know we're getting a
I
little,
thought you were doing a post of yourself there.
no, getting a little racy, but no, there's no image, just text, nothing else.
Yeah.
I people are really vibing with the text only post right now because they don't have to click and like see a picture first and have to scroll down like the text only.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can just click see more and it just shows them the full thing. So I would do a text only post. And then the third I would do is a market research poll question. As I alluded to earlier in the episode, if you really wanted to figure out what problems that your audience is looking for solutions for, ask them. So to give you an example, I'm doing a poll question tomorrow related to coaches and consultants, like, what is the most important aspect to scaling a coaching practice? An optimized website, a proper lead magnet, getting on sales calls, right? So I want to find out from that what are people valuing most because then I can obviously do some additional content for it. So that's the beginner
Right.
strategy. Short form video, text
Text.
only post up to
Mhm.
3,000 characters, and a poll question. Advanced, and this is like if you're already on LinkedIn, you want to just do more, you've done kind of the basic stuff, but you're looking for the next level. I would do a LinkedIn Live 1 time per week using a third-party streaming software like
Okay.
Restream, or StreamYard, which is the one that I use and I love, or you can even use Riverside at this point. And those are longer videos, 15 to 20 minutes. They're like deeper trainings. I do one every Monday and Thursday. I actually do two.
Hmm.
And it's just going to build extra like branding and value added content for your audience because you're on there live. Hint, hint, you can actually pre-record and then have it stream live, and
I
people think
know.
that's how I work around that. That's my suggestion to anyone that wants to get their time back. Number two, I still think you should do a market research poll regardless. I think that's a beginner and advanced strategy because market research is everything right now. We need metrics, we need things to measure by, and we need to figure out what our audience wants. And third and final, and my favorite, is a LinkedIn newsletter edition. I could do a whole episode on this. So LinkedIn by far, what they hit a home run with the LinkedIn newsletter. You can write an article on LinkedIn, but if you create your own LinkedIn newsletter, mine is called LinkedIn Tips and Updates. LinkedIn actually helps you grow a subscription base outside of your connections. So just to give you an idea, I have 27,000 connections, 34,000 followers, and I have 10,100 subscribers of my newsletter. So every week when I write a newsletter edition on LinkedIn, it is getting pushed out to 10,000 people, whether they're in my network or not. They're just subscribers of my newsletter. I can see who they are, and LinkedIn pushes it out via email. So there's a
Whoa.
security setting. Yeah, this is where it gets crazy.
Oh.
So there's a security setting where people can choose to receive email communication from LinkedIn or not. That's like just with
Yep.
any social platform. If someone opts in to receive email communication from LinkedIn, anytime that you publish a newsletter edition, which I recommend once a week,
Once a week, right?
LinkedIn emails your newsletter edition to every one of your subscribers that is receiving email communication from LinkedIn. It's going to say, "Hey, Christine, check out Scott's new latest newsletter edition." Has the whole thing. There's a call to action that's clickable in it, so you can start collecting GDPR regulated emails online to offline. But in addition to that, you can actually see the analytic metrics. So after it gets pushed out, LinkedIn will tell you how many people they emailed on your behalf and the open rate of those emails that were sent, which I don't know any other platform that's doing that.
And they're sending it from LinkedIn, so the chances of it going to spam land are is low.
Plus, if you're actively building your network on LinkedIn, which you should be connecting with up to 100 people a week.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as someone accepts and you have an existing newsletter, they will then send a notification to subscribe to that person's newsletter for doing so. So they help you grow your newsletter.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about like those connections to those 100 connections, that's not with the basic LinkedIn, right? Is that the service?
That's all LinkedIn. So the limitation is 100
Oh.
across the board. You can't send any more now.
Oh,
100
okay.
is the limit,
So you don't
paid
have to,
or free.
You don't have to pay for the pro version or
everything that I have been doing, Christine, and still teach is based on the free version of LinkedIn. I've never
Beautiful.
paid for premium.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I am so happy I know you, Scott.
I'm happy I know you too.
So I could talk to you forever and ever, but we know that the attention span of human beings has grown quite short. So we're going to keep this short so that people will actually watch and of course listen to the podcast episode. Now, Scott, if people want to find out more about you, I know that you also have a cool free gift that really can help people start their LinkedIn journey, or if they're already into LinkedIn, can really help them a lot. Where can they find you? Number one, of course, on LinkedIn, Scott Aaron, but what other, you've got a little goodie for them too.
Yep. So you can find me on LinkedIn or my website, scottaaron.net. But the goodie I have for you, it's a free high impact post template for LinkedIn. So what it is, it's 3 basically Mad Libs, if you guys remember that as kids, where you can kind of fill in the blank. It'll help you create and craft a post that you can then post on the LinkedIn. But my wife and I we've created personalized GPTs for people. So we're actually giving anyone with this download free access to one of our GPTs that basically you just click on it. It opens up in your own chat GPT, and all you have to do is hit the get started button. It's going to ask you 5 or 6 questions about your business, and it's going to help you create and craft a post that you can then push out onto LinkedIn. And that is completely free. So it's going to give you basically the thought leadership, storytelling, thought-provoking content that you should be posting on the platform.
Oh, you make it so easy for us. Thank you so much. Oh, that's so fantastic. Scott Aaron has been my amazing guest today. And if you're interested, if we've piqued your interest at all in maybe exploring more of LinkedIn, if you've had that sort of love-hate relationship with LinkedIn like I have, now I adore it. Now I'm going to go have an affair with it. And my wife just walked in, so she knows. It's all good, Scott. It's all good. It's all good.
It's out there. You're not hiding anything.
It is. Make sure you share this with somebody. If you got something out of this, don't just hide it to yourself. Share this with somebody that could really use these tips and advice. I think it's a very valuable conversation that I had with my wonderful guest, Scott Aaron. And for those of you who want to learn more about the work that I do, of course, you can go to expertauthoritycoach.com. I will have a link in the show notes for that. And if you want to rate your expert authority-ness, you can do that at expertauthorityquiz.com. It's super easy to take the questions. You need to be asking these questions anyway. And I hope that you have a great day. Make sure you check out all the great work that Scott's doing on LinkedIn. All right, take care now.